So, Edwige, thank you for joining us today and congratulations on being selected as one of our top three nominees for the 2024 Gender Equality Changemakers Awards. Now, could you please introduce yourself and just tell us a bit more about you?
Right. So my name is Edwige Takassi. I'm the CEO of Women in Financial Inclusion Africa Consulting. I live and work in DR Congo, and I have been working in the financial sector for the past 17 years. And throughout my career, I have noticed that many women face difficulties in growing, whether they're trying to build a career or whether they are entrepreneurs trying to grow their business. So a few years ago, I made some detailed analysis and noticed a trend, which I call the 30% rule. In an environment that favors quantitative performance only as a criteria for promotion, women would grow in general, but they would tend to hit a glass ceiling at some point, reaching roughly 1/3 of all statistics. So that's what I noticed in my personal experience, but also through this analysis I made. So those statistics could be percentage of women staff, percentage of women in managerial position, could be percentage of women clients even. And I noticed that companies that exceed this figure of 1/3 approximately are generally those that have a specific focus on women, whether by choice or by default. And also, I realized later on from the literature that such companies are performing better, in fact. That's the reason why 5 years ago, when I resigned from the bank I was working in and created a consultancy firm, I decided to focus on women's economic empowerment.
Amazing. Now, could you describe your capstone project for us, including your organization, country, and individual context? Perhaps you could also include the gender gaps within your market that you're aiming to tackle with your capstone project.
Right, okay. My capstone project is about supporting a leading bank in DRC in their gender mainstreaming journey. And in a nutshell, this consisted of 3 steps. The first one was to perform a gender lens institutional assessment, which resulted in general recommendations on how to perform better in terms of gender equity internally, because that bank had already made the journey when it comes to clients. The second step was designing a gender policy to crystallize the institution's vision and objectives when it comes to gender, so that actions could take place within an institutionalized framework and last beyond changes in management. Because I also noticed that when there's a change in management in a company, sometimes the focus is shifting. And then the third step was the design and rolling out of a women leadership program, which is a 4-month program with a blend of technical skills and soft skills training, as well as mentorship. So that's in a nutshell my capstone project.
Thanks, Edwige. Could you describe your progress towards gender implementation and any challenges or resistance that you have faced and how you have responded to this?
Right. So first of all, I'm very happy to say that I have been able to roll out the program, and this was all done between September 2023 and June 2024. The institutional assessment took place in September 2023. The gender policy, I was able to draft in October, and it was approved in November by the board of directors of this bank. And later on, from March to June 2024, I was able to train 2 cohorts of 26 women. So for a total of 56 women. And the interesting thing is, after the training, we didn't leave it there. The bank was able to assign those women a real institutional project, which they now need to implement, those women, as part of their on-the-job leadership training. My next step is to support the institution in the alignment of their HR policies, such as recruitment, training, and promotion, to the gender policy. But I did face a couple of challenges, yes. I'm going to speak about the 3, let's say, main challenges, the most important challenges I faced. The first one was that despite the high involvement of senior management, including the CEO himself, The program was obviously competing with many other internal priorities. And that means that the 52 participants had to be taken off their daily tasks 3 to 5 days each month. And we sometimes met some resistance from their own managers or constraints in their replacement. So this resulted in 10% of the participants having to drop out of the program. So that was quite unfortunate. My second challenge, I would say, was in the fact that in my framework design, I had in mind my own experience from another bank. But later on in the implementation phase, I realized that some of the recommendations I had made were not necessarily adapted to this specific bank's corporate culture. So I had to show agility and readapt the program and especially the work plan several times for it to work. And my third main challenge was also an interesting one, which I didn't see coming. The fact that my program did not originally include a performance evaluation framework, and that was by choice. However, the institution insisted on me finding ways to assess each participant and rate their performance within the program, within the 4 months, so that we could see their progression during the training. Now, that sounded like a very good idea. But when it comes to trainings that are focusing on leadership skills, it's quite tricky to assign specific rating to those. So it was not easy to design an evaluation framework that could show the progression in such a short period of time.
Thank you so much, Edwige. I would like to thank you for sharing your journey with us. And just to say that your dedication to gender equality is truly remarkable. And congratulations once again for making the top 3. We wish you all the best and wish you all the success in making a positive impact.